What is up and what is poppin', y'all? It is your girl Jazzy in his house. And sorry, I didn't mean to just disregard your loving, cute self and my client's dog who is clearly wanting some attention. But hey, thank you for being here with Jazzy's After Hour episode. This is my first episode, y'all. I have been talking about this for a hot minute now, and I'm just stoked to finally have set this up officially. I have created a whole vibe, okay? The mood, the lighting, the decor, just everything, the comfort of my own home. Yes, it's finally happening. So get your drinks. I got me some hot tea. Get your popcorn, get your just whatever. Because this is a whole vibe, this is a whole mood. What we're going to talk about today can be controversial, and people love to debate on this, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. You hear me? And I definitely have mine. Oh, I just hit the mic. I hope that didn't sound too crazy. I'm just trying to get used to this whole new setup. Usually I have like a mic, I got my headphones on, I got my interface, I got big old bright lights with all kinds of umbrellas, like with my co-host on my other podcast with Sonia. And this is just a different vibe. This is just a different setup. Me, myself, and I in the comfort of my home, shooting when I feel like it, talking about topics that I personally would love to dive deep into. And we're going to get into this particular topic today. Man, I have had many life experiences that have always led me to wanting to talk about this, because I think everyone goes through different phases in life where they have different experiences that are supposed to teach you different lessons. Now, do you learn from the lessons? Those are things you gotta sit back and think about. Am I learning from these lessons or not? But I do know at the end of the day, everything that we're going through, we're growing through, and we're learning. And that's the whole goal in life, right? You don't want to. The definition of insanity is literally expecting different, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. It's a no-brainer, right? I know for me, I went through a period of my life where I kept making the same mistakes. I kept being attracted to the same thing. I kept doing the same thing, thinking something was wrong with everybody else, thinking, pointing the finger and thinking, oh, why am I going through this cycle over and over again? But in reality, it was all to teach me different lessons. In reality, I was supposed to go through those things over and over again because I wasn't learning from those situations. That's where you get older. That's where you get wiser. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay, first things first, get your drink, whatever you got. I don't care what it is. And let's do a little toast. Cheers to taking risks. Cheers for being fearless. Cheers to loving yourself. Cheers to wanting to learn and grow and become the best versions of ourselves. Cheers to loving ourselves more now than we ever have. Self-love, baby. Cheers to that. And I hope this isn't too hot because I warmed it up. It's just slightly too hot. So we're going to give that a minute to cool down. But in the meantime, we got some things to dive into. We're going to dive deep. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what our topic today is going to be. And I am stoked. I am so stoked. So, and I was going to do my hair and be like, oh, I'm going to be all cute. For what? For what? I'm in my home. Why am I going to curl my hair and try to look like some exotic queen? For who? What? So I washed my hair, and this is what you get. Okay, and I put some lashes on and whatnot. You might see this dog walking around me. I didn't want him barking, so just ignore it. I know that's hard, but all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Why sex is overrated. Why is sex overrated? Ooh, let's just, a moment of silence for real. That's how I feel. A moment of silence, please, because, man, like, I am almost positive that most people feel this way. I could be biased, but maybe leaning more towards women versus men. Just saying. But it could be controversial. Like I said, it goes both ways. I know that I have experienced a lot of things in my life that has always led me to thinking, yo, sex is overrated for many different reasons. And we're going to dive in and talk about it. Now, why it stands out to me so much is because sex in general is so it's so saturated. We're so saturated with that in our lives. Like, we are bombarded with sex through the culture, through music, and even like movies or even music videos. Everything is so overly sexualized nowadays. It truly is. I mean, I don't want to name drop any certain artists. I shouldn't even have to, but you can go pull up. You can literally type in new hip hop music videos, and it's not rocket science. You're about to get a whole bunch of bootylicious twerking. Everything's being promoted with the more you show, the better success you have. Women are competing with each other because my man, excuse me, my man's competing with so and so. I apologize. That is disgusting. I just felt like air was coming in my. Anyways, not my man's competing. I'm competing with so and so because my man say he's looking at Instagram models or et cetera, et cetera. Everything's too accessible is my point. Everything's too accessible. The competition is real. Women are getting BBLs and paying big money just to get their whole body redone because they have this idea of what they think they want to look like instead of going the natural route and really trying to build their self-esteem, their confidence, by doing what they can through their health, their fitness, and whatnot. That's a whole different conversation. But I will start off with saying, why sex is overrated to me. I've wrote a bunch of things out because I digress, and I'm gonna have a whole hour conversation about something else I wasn't even supposed to talk about. So I gotta stay organized, okay? Don't judge me. But I will say, especially for women who like somebody and they want to impress them, or they whatever, they give it up too quick. It could be date one, it could be date two, it could be date three, whatever your idea of what giving up your goods are too soon is. A guy can lose respect for you because immediately they're like, well, dang, if she's willing to give it up this quick, she must have been willing to do this for plenty of other men. And does she not respect her body enough to not make me work harder for it? You know what I'm trying to say? So, and I've spoke to a lot of men in the past. This isn't just my opinion. It is my opinion, but I've spoke to plenty of men in my past, or even currently now, who could very much agree with that. And women as well. Like, from my own experiences, like, you'll go and do your thing with whoever you choose to, who isn't a boyfriend, who isn't someone that you are going to get married to, and you feel it. You feel low. You feel when you leave the situation, you've a little lack of self-respect. I know for me, I have felt that 100%. It's just not worth it. Take your time and make yourself and that person work for something that's so much more than just the sexual act, okay? So that's one, all right? Discipline and how attractive that can be and how it will only set you up for success. That's true. Because hear me out, when you're disciplined in the act of doing all these things that we want to do, because it's just natural when you meet somebody and you have this sexual chemistry and you're so attracted to them and you're already doing certain things that may lead up to the grand, act. When you can show that you have discipline, there's nothing more attractive. There's nothing more attractive for a man or a woman to be able to show discipline in any aspect in life in general, but especially that, because you hold more value with what you have going on with this person, and you have value within yourself that you're so much more than like, hey, let's meet up, let's get to a certain level and let's have this act. It's more like, let's have real conversations. Like, you don't even know my middle name. You don't even know where I'm from. You don't even know real things about me, but you want to get the goods. Like, it's just make it make sense. That's the next thing I'll check off. Why it's overrated. Cheating. Let's talk about it. So when you're in relationships, I don't care who you are. We've all probably experienced this, maybe not. Um, when you're with somebody and they feel tapped out, meaning like they're still committed to you, they're still in a relationship with you, but maybe y'all aren't having intercourse. Maybe y'all aren't having the best relationship. Maybe y'all have been arguing a lot. Maybe, you're whatever the case may be. It's like you can literally be married with someone and have kids with them, and you will literally disregard that because you're horny. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. And you want to get that thrill from someone new, and you'll go and you'll cheat on someone. I don't care, female or male, and you'll go and do your thing and want to come back and think that life is just going to move on and be peaches and cream. And that's literally not how it works. When you're going against that, God will make sure that things will not go the way that you want them to go, because that is not how this is supposed to work. And you're not supposed to go against that, and you're not supposed to cheat on your partner. It's really sad and unsettling to know that there are so many broken families because you wanted to go get that 20-second thrill, 30-second thrill, hour thrill, whatever, because you're living in the moment. When you got to look at the grand scheme of things, you got to look at the big picture. You will literally ruin your whole life to go screw around with someone who you don't even know. And even if you do, that's besides the point. But like, who most people don't even know, and then to come back to someone who you know on a way deeper level, and you've been through trials and tribulations with, you cried to, you've gone through health things, you maybe been to the doctor, you've dealt with kids, it's so real, it's so raw, and you will do that just for that, and it's literally not even worth it. That's overrated to me. Okay. um oh yeah, and when you cheat, it's not even just cheating. This is for people who cheat, yes, because you are taking the risk. But when you're just having sex with whoever and whenever, you run a high risk of passing STDs, from getting any kind of other diseases in general. Um, Especially men. I'm gonna just say this because I'm a woman. I'm gonna speak on this because this is something that's touching my heart. When men go out and step out, they think they're being low key. They think they're not finna get caught. But what y'all don't know, if you don't already know, that women have a pH balance. And if we stay clean and we aren't screwing around with anybody else, let alone having much sex with you, if you go out and cheat, you're putting someone else's pH balance and bacteria in your body, on your skin. I don't care if you go wash yourself, it doesn't matter. You put that on you and you come back and you want to put that inside us, you are going to naturally throw our pH balance off. Women know. So that has been a huge red flag for a lot of women that I've talked to, that's been like, yo, like, are you out here cheating on me because I have an STD, or I have a yeast infection, or I have bacterial vaginosis, and I take really good care of myself, and we're not even really messing around with each other like that? Red flag. Red flag. Okay? Okay. This is okay. So a lot of this is a little out of order. I actually initially was trying to print this off. Long story short, I'm here having to check off things that are a little out of order. So I'm going to try to wing it. Um, this this is this is very true. I've talked to a lot of women, and I hate to say this for any men that are watching, but this is very true. A lot of women that are in relationships, not even just relationships, it can even be situationships, and y'all are having intercourse. Okay, 90% of women that I talk to are not 100% satisfied, especially if you're in relationships. The things that you like about that person outweigh your level of excitement and enticement from the actual act of intercourse. Okay. And it surprises me, but yet I also think there's just a lack of communication when it comes to that. It's overrated because the communication is always so off in relationships, to where we don't want to hurt the person's feelings, or we don't want to feel like we're degrading somebody. But the truth of the matter is, even when it comes to certain things, it's never always equal. The men either think that the women have to do so much more than they do, or the men have to do all the work and the women just got to sit back and enjoy it all. That's that's not how it's supposed to be. I truly feel it should be equal. Not to get so TMI and so technical, but I personally feel like it's extremely annoying. It's extremely annoying when a guy wants oral sex all the time, and they love oral sex because obviously who wouldn't? But they don't want to give it. It doesn't matter how clean you be, clean as a whistle. You can smell like peaches and cream and just water, okay? But that's just not their thing. They've either had bad experiences with other women in the past, or they've been triggered, or that's just never, maybe they weren't good at it. Whatever the case may be, it's just one of those things they don't really do. And I don't think it's fair. I don't care who you are, I do not think it's fair that when it comes to having the actual act of, that we're not putting in the same effort to please one another, which is why a lot of women, men don't know this, will fake orgasms. Okay, it's very true. And they will also sit there and make it seem like you're doing so well and you're doing so good, when really they're going to go finish their job when you go to sleep, or when the guy goes to sleep, when he's burnt out after getting his in, the woman will go and finish theirs off. They'll go and take care of themselves because they're like, ugh. But you would never know that because they aren't open enough and feel confident enough to tell you those things. And there's a huge lack of that in relationships, which cause a big, big problem. Okay. Um, I I want to talk about when I was peer pressured to lose my virginity. I was young. Um, I think I was like in the 8th grade. Okay, this is a true story. And I had a circle of friends who, all of them were not virgins. Me and my twin sister, we were virgins. Okay, but we would go and hang out with these friends, and they would try to set us up, and we'd be drinking alcohol. We weren't big drinkers then, too. So you're intoxicated. You got alcohol in your system, and they're trying to set me up. They're trying to set me up to lose my virginity with someone who's actually a lot older than me. I might have been going on to be a freshman, or it could have been 8th grade. It might have been just 8th grade year, like I mentioned, but and this person could have been like almost a senior or something like that. This man or boy, being a typical boy, was more than willing, and I was like terrified because regardless of what the movies make it seem like, regardless of what he or she who's experienced sexual intercourse, a lot of times they always make it seem like it's going to be like this, just fireworks and just as grand as, oh my gosh, this amazing moment. Okay. And I know later on in life that's obviously not the case. Okay. But I was terrified. I'm like, I'm not in a relationship with this guy. I literally know of this guy, but I know I'm a little tipsy and whatnot, but y'all want me to go have sex with this person. And it was something that they were really pressing. They were really, really trying. And it made me feel so uncomfortable. I had high anxiety. I felt like, should I? Should I go do this to please them so I could fit in and I could stop getting picked on and feeling like you're a virgin and we're not a virgin? Like, why is that the case? Why is the virgin being looked at like something's wrong with me, when really y'all should be looked at like, why the hell are y'all not virgins? You're still young. We're still learning. Our bodies aren't even fully developed yet. So that's something I encountered. That's just the short version of it. Um, when I did officially lose my virginity, I was so obsessed with this guy. I was so shy. My personality, if you know me, I am not shy. I'm like very much bubbly. I'm outgoing. I'm a jokester. I'm goofy. I'm silly. I can be serious when need be. But when I was around him, I would get really nervous and shy to the point where I didn't even know what to say sometimes. And so I felt like when I was dating him, like, long story short, we ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend, back in the day when you're kids and whatnot. And I remember him just being like a little annoyed because I was like shy. I was even shy to hold his hand. I thought eventually like maybe he would like me more. Maybe he would invest in me more if I gave up the goods. And I eventually did, to keep it short. and it was extremely painful. There was nothing enjoyable about it, just to be honest with you, other than like, oh, I like you so much, like you're lucky I'm doing this with you. I can't believe I'm doing this with you, kind of a thing. But it just turned into me feeling like this is what's gonna take for you to like me more and show me more love. I'm here for it. And it was a complete opposite. He actually, in fact, after he took my virginity, weeks later, he broke up with me because I was still so shy. I thought me losing my virginity to him was going to unlock a different boost of confidence. I was going to just be so much more of what I felt like he wanted me to be, and it wasn't. It wasn't. So I know there's a lot of women out there who feel like maybe you don't even have to be a virgin. You might just feel like, man, let me go ahead and just do this because I feel like he's going to like me more. Don't buy into that. Do not buy into that. I promise you it's not worth it. They do not look at you like, oh, I like you so much more. They do because you're easy and they can hit you up whenever you want and it's convenient. Okay. But at the end of the day, you're not that person's wife. They don't value you as such. They don't hold you in a certain standard. They just don't. So just don't buy into that. I wanted to mention that because that is truly something I did experience, and it really messed with my confidence and it made me feel so low. It made me feel so low for the longest. I felt like I wasn't worthy. Again, I was still a kid, but we've all been there. I was younger. It was like 8th grade summer going into high school. I was about to go into high school, and I felt like this is what I needed to do, and I was so regretful. And I was like, man, like, because I'm the type of person, like, even then I was like, oh, I had sex with you, like, you're my husband. I know I know it sounds silly, but I'm like, oh, we're locked in. Uh-huh. Yeah. And he's like, no. And in fact, I didn't mention this. Not only did he break up with me, but he cheated on me with someone who was like a legit slut. Like they could be in school and they're the couple on the hallway making out and they're like, get a room. Or the teacher has to get onto them like, hey, PDA, no PDA. Like I was the opposite. I was like, listen, like we don't need to do all that around people. Like, so ladies, don't buy into that. Please don't. No. Um, so I touched base on all of that. Yeah, it's so true. And I didn't mention, by the way, when I said sex is overrated and how we're bombarded with things and that's all we see, everything's overly sexualized. I didn't even mention social media. I mentioned music and like movies, like music videos, which is a given, but like social media, it's almost even worse because that's what we're all on. Like they know what they're doing when they have this social media set up for us. Like we're scanning. Like I don't even know how some of the stuff pops up that I see. It's mind boggling. I'm like, wow, like no one has to see this. So that's another thing I wanted to tell you about. Make sure you're creating your own algorithm. Do not allow social media. Like once you click on one thing and you're admired by one thing, along comes a million others. They're gonna see that you, especially you men out here who are like, oh, it's just I can't help it. There's women, yeah, because y'all are constantly clicking at these little sluts, these girls who have all these um, super fans and or porn stars or whatever the hell you're looking at. Like they know what you're looking at. Okay, you got to not do that because it makes it 10 times harder to step away from that or to not see it as often or see it at all, period. Um, I do believe that having sex with the wrong person who's not going to be your husband, who is not going to be someone that you end up spending the rest of your life with, it truly slows the process down for you to meet that right person because you're so wrapped up mentally, emotionally invested into this person, even if it is just someone you're screwing around with, that you might be missing out on Mr. Right because you're so distracted by Mr. Wrong. It's not worth it, baby. I'm telling you. I've been there. I have been there. Literally. Whew, I could go even deeper on that, but you get my drift. I know you can feel what I'm talking about. I hope it resonates with you. Um, having like a women especially choosing to not have sex with someone right away and choosing to wait however long that is for you, whether it's a week, 2, 3, 4 months, a year, waiting until marriage, whatever floats your boat. I will say, by being disciplined and making sure you're structured in that way of knowing I'm going to stand my ground. I don't care how close we get to actually doing it. I'm not going to fall through and actually doing the intercourse and actually having sex with this person, because I know I'm waiting for the right person. I know I'm waiting to make sure that I'm investing in something that's going to be solid, and it's going to set my future up for success, and it's actually going to create a healthy, organic, natural relationship with that person, even sexually. Okay, when you do that, you actually weed out all the ones that don't want that. If you feel like I'm trying to find my soulmate, I'm trying to find my man, I want to get married, I want to have 4 or 5 kids, baby girl, you can't be meeting somebody at the bar and screwing them. You think God's going to bless you with Mr. Husband because you're over here being a thoughty McThotterson? It doesn't work out like that, honey. You got to show God, listen, it's so hard out here. It's so tempting, Lord. It's hard out here, but you show that you can at least do that one thing. He's going to be like, I'm finna bless you because you're showing your strength, you're showing your value, you're showing your worth. So I'm going to show you what you're worth. You know? So I'm telling you. This is a good one. So like threesomes, for those who have had it, for those who haven't had it. Threesomes in general can be controversial, okay? Because look, sex in general is meant to be enjoyable. That's why we have sex. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to feel good. You're supposed to release these endorphins. It's supposed to be like, pew, 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 fireworks. Makes you feel confident with yourself. Makes you feel confident with that person. Makes you feel like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Okay, however you want to word it. It definitely will pull out a different side of you. But God laid that out for all of us to do that with our significant other, to procreate. It's to essentially to make children. It's not, yes, it's to have fun and whatnot, but that's why it's so easy to get pregnant. That's why we have so many baby daddies. It cracks me up when people are like, I got 5 baby mamas, I got 10 baby daddies. Like, damn, for real? You can't slow down even a little bit? Because the reality of it is, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's so ass backwards, and it's so toxic, and it's so overrated. Like, and having threesomes with somebody who you're in a relationship with, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I've experienced it. I know that it will, I don't care. It's like when you have a certain level of love for that person and you know that's your man. I'm going to speak for women because I'm a woman. When you know that's your man, that is my husband. Realistically, you don't want to share that with somebody, because I don't care how pretty you are, I don't care how good you are, you can lay it so good on the table and in the bed, okay? But when you share that with somebody, it's so intimate. It's so like, you don't want to do that because you end up getting in your head after. In the act of, you could be cool, you could be holding your ground, you could be doing all the things, but after the fact, I do know that can mess with your mental. Your spirit feels unsettled. You feel like, maybe, are you thinking about this person? Are you dreaming about this person? If I bring this person around you again, are you going to want to constantly do it with that person? And not only that, are you going to be over here looking at other women around us thinking about, ooh, is she in our next candidate? Ooh, look at her, looking at her like she's a whole piece of ass and meat that we can bounce on next time. Like, no, it doesn't work out. I promise you, it doesn't work out. That's not what God wants for us. He doesn't want us to get in relationships and be sharing each other. No, that's not how it works. And that's not how it's supposed to work. So, and I'm not condoning to do it when you're not in a relationship, but I would give you my opinion. If you were to have threesomes and that's the route you wanted to take, do it when you're not in a relationship and you're not taking that person serious. It's so much easier to say, oh, that's not my man, but I'm going to have fun with this person and we're going to experience things because we're human. We only live once, and I'm not going to judge you for that. But I would not ever suggest you doing that with someone who you know you want to settle down with and be a wife to and have kids with. It's just not something I personally recommend, okay? I had to delete I had to delete a lot of storage out of my phone um just to create space to make this content. So let's pray and hope that all of this saves into my phone and that I don't get cut off. Okay. Okay. If it doesn't get cut off, God knows what he's doing. Okay? So let me just say that. Um Porn stars, let's talk about it. People who are on OnlyFans, let's talk about it. It's so easy. Why do you think it's so easy for women to go make money selling their souls, selling their bodies, selling their vajayjay, selling their goods? I like to say the goods. When you put yourself out there and you can't undo what you've done. Once you go in and post those videos, people all around the world see it. Not only that, there's a certain spirit that stays within you, that's around you when you're doing those kinds of things. Um, and you make money off of it. It's because it's so accessible. It's so easy how women are making thousands, actually millions, from selling their body. And it's literally disgusting. It's disgusting because what happens when they want to get out of that lifestyle, they're so used to making quick, fast money that when they got to go get a real job and reality smacks them in the face, they don't even know what to do. They always fall back on, well, this. And even strippers, yes, you're not having sex, and some of them do, just saying. Even if you're on a pole and you're stripping, you're still being sexualized. You're still promoting sex. You're still throwing your whole body out there naked. People are throwing their money at you. You're degrading yourself. It's really sad because it's like, man, if you could really tap in and find that real value within yourself, you don't have to do that. Money is important. Money is what we need to survive, whether we like it or not. Yes, I get it. I understand. But if it's going to mean that I got to like sell my soul or give up my goods, or it's not even worth it. No, I'd rather be broke, busted, and disgusted than over here thinking that I'm on a high thrill of life because I'm balling out of control, yet my spirit is totally unsettled, yet no man wants to respect me. Man, I can't find my man. I wonder why. I wonder why a man can't come and wife you up. Because you're a whole entire hoe and a half. Like, that's not sexy. Okay? And even if you've been that and you've had a lifestyle where you've gone through your handful of men, or men have got their handful of women, because that doesn't matter. It's a matter of, if are you changing? Have you gone, do you know how to go through a long period of time of not even having intercourse or overly sexualizing yourself on social media? Do you always have to look like you're posting thirst traps? Is that the only reason why you post selfies, is because it's a back shot, or maybe your titties are almost like they're like doing some pop, lock, and drop it dance, like where your nipple's about to pop out, and because that's the only attention you get from men, and you wonder why these men aren't taking you seriously? Come on now. Literally, come on now. I'm going to share an experience from you. I'm going to share an experience with you that I dealt with that played a huge role in my life. I have been in a few relationships. I know that for me personally, I had been with someone for a long time in my past, and it was someone who taught me all the tricks. It was someone who showed me all the things and made me feel like I needed to be a certain way sexually. And that's what I adapted to. A lot of women deal with that. It's what I adapted to, this way of being in this relationship. Okay. After all that went left, I'm going to keep it short because I don't want to dive too deep into that. After all that went left and I was no longer in that relationship with anybody, I didn't even realize what a soul tie was. Okay? A soul tie is so real, y'all. It is so real. When you have sex with someone, you are literally spiritually and emotionally connecting with that person, whether you like it or not. If this person is dealing with trauma, depression, low confidence, anxiety, the list goes on. There are people who I've spoke to who have literally felt like I've never felt these things, and I went and had sex with this person, and all of a sudden I'm feeling these things. That's why. And you wonder why, for me, when I left the situation, even when I got into a new relationship, even after the fact, I could not get this person out of my head. And it wasn't like I'm over here holding hands, walking down the park and have these cute little picnic dates and doing all these things. No, I was having sexual dreams with this person all the time. It was literally out of my control. Subconsciously, I kept thinking about it in my dreams. I would wake up crying. I would wake up like something's wrong with me. And I wasn't even with this person for like almost 10 years. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I cannot get this person out of my head. Even in that relationship that I was at that time, like, we were not in a good place sexually. We couldn't find a how do I word this? It There was a lot of other things that were lacking, which led to that being a lack of in our relationship, which happens a lot in marriages and relationships. It doesn't matter. When you're with someone for a very, very, very long time, you're not always going to be on a high sexually. You always got to find ways to spice it up, keep things interesting, find each other interested, finding ways to still be sexually attracted to that person. I get that. But when there is a huge lack of, it will make you start thinking about other past experiences with someone that you enjoyed with. We're human. It happens. It was just like to the point where I would literally cry myself to sleep sometimes. I even spoke to a therapist about it because I'm like, is something wrong with me? Why does this keep happening? Why am I keep thinking about this person? Okay. Fast forward, years go by, 10 years go by. And it's like subconsciously I manifested this person to come back into my life. This person came back into my life. And I personally chose to end up having these sexual encounters with this person again because I've been thinking about this person for so many years. Oh my God, this is finally about to happen. I'm about to relive this 10 years later. And to keep it short and sweet, it's like, I don't like to use God in a sexual I can't even talk. I don't like to use God in a situation where I feel like I'm doing something he's not wanting me to do. But at the same time, I'm doing this and I'm saying this because I feel like he did do that, in my opinion, because I feel like he needed me to see something. He needed, if I was so obsessed with this situation and I could not see the big picture, he wanted me 10 years later to show me with this new version of myself, how would I handle this situation? Okay? Knowing that it's a toxic situation and it's never changed. Okay? That I absolutely feel like that was something I had to relive to see, like, wow, some things just don't change. And this is what was a huge big thing. This is the big thing that I took away from that, is I stepped away from that. And I literally told myself, if I was never to have sex with this person again, would I actually talk to this person? Would I actually date this person? Would I actually respect this person? Would I actually want this person to be the father of my children? And the answer was no, like a big no, capital letters no, exclamation point. Okay? And if you ever feel that, I don't care who you are, but women especially, I'm talking to you. Especially if you could sit there and say, if I could never have sex with this person, would I still want to be around this person? Would I still want to date this person? That's a huge thing that we all, men and women, need to reflect on. Because we care so much about sex and about the person that we're with. Everything's so sexualized that it's like we can't even go a time with discipline and being like, I'm not even gonna have sex with you for a while so I can create this intimacy, this bond with you that's so much deeper than sex, so that when we do have it, it is so much more powerful. It's so much more emotionally connected with each other. It's so much more of a buildup that you're gonna enjoy it a million times more. That's the whole point of it. And I feel like if you ever reject a man, or ladies, let me put it in this perspective. If a man rejects you because you don't want to have sex with him, you don't want to have sex with him, something I wrote down that stood out to me that someone said in a podcast. I don't remember which one it was, and I would totally give them a shout out if that was the case. But rejection is God's protection. And I truly feel that. I truly feel that. I feel like I've come a long way, even with letting this person in my life back in and feel like, oh no, this is actually the only reason why you're even in my life. You were corrupting my mind because a soul tie is real. You're having these soul ties with these people, and it's like, for what? You're taking on their energy. You can't think, and then it makes you think, like, it confuses you. That's why when you date so fast and like within a week you're having sex with this person and you're like, oh my God, I'm in love. No, you're not. You're confused because you have this soul tie with them sexually that now you feel like you're on a high with this person. And now you feel like different feelings that you wouldn't have felt before, you know? And then it will make you make decisions with a person that is not your person. And that's so toxic and it's so overrated and it's so not healthy. And that is not why God made sex a thing for us humans to be able to have with each other, so that we can go screw around with tons of people and to go and feel like empowered when we're like, you know what's empowering? It's not having sex with all these women, I'm talking to you. It's not having sex with a bunch of women or men and being like, oh, I can go and have sex with Tom, and then I can go with Freddie, and then I can go with Bill over here, like, which is hilarious because I've never even dated a white guy, so I'm literally naming white guys, but you get my point. I don't care. It's Stefan. It could be um, whoever, whatever it is, whatever floats your boat. That is not what's sexy. That's not what's empowering. What's empowering is being able to say, ooh, I'm going to say no. Sorry. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how sexy you are. I don't care how good you're packing down there. I don't care how much you sweet talk me. I don't care how much you give me gifts. I'm going to hold my ground and hold myself to a higher standard because I know my worth. I know my value. And I know whenever I choose to do that with a specific person is because I know that that's someone I hold to a high regard. I have mad respect for that person. And I just feel like where I'm at in my life now, I've learned a lot from my experiences. I've gone through a lot with men who have made me feel degraded, who have made me feel like sex, if I did not bring sex to the table on a certain level, then I was unworthy. That if I didn't have even sex like a porn star, the way that I felt like maybe you wanted, because maybe you watched porn so much that I feel like maybe I needed to do those things, then ladies know. Because little do you know, a lot of men watch porn and they're obsessed with porn and they whatever, but at the end of the day, that's not really what you need to be bringing into the table. There's a different level of intimacy that porn stars don't even bring into the camera because it's like lights, camera, action, and that's what they do to make money. Behind closed doors, I've seen documentaries of porn stars who even go home with their significant other and they don't even have sex like they do on the camera because it's a different level of intimacy. And I just feel like it's not really talked about a lot. I feel like, yes, sex is amazing. Yes, sex is special, but it's very much overrated because of a lot of things that I've listed. And I feel like if we took it more seriously and we went on dates and not had this high pressure of like, oh my gosh, is this going to lead to sex? If I make out with this person or we're feeling on each other, is this person going to automatically try to have sex with me? Like, that's annoying. Like, we should be able to have long, extended conversations, get to know each other for an extended period of time without having this anxiety or pressure of like feeling like obligated to have sex with a person. And I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to talk about it. I'm here for it. I think my tea's cooled down now. It's warm. Now it's not as warm as I like it. We can never be fully satisfied with anything in life, okay? So, for all those who are watching, I appreciate, damn, Gina. I appreciate you being here. I didn't want to make this like a 2-hour episode, mainly because I didn't know if my phone would actually capture all of this. So I was nervous. But I appreciate you being here. I'm going to continue to think of topics to come on here and create a whole mood and a whole vibe for the people that care about me and want to tap into my podcast with Jazzy After Hours. Subscribe to my channel. It's new, okay? I used to post other content, but now I'm revamping it and making it into something that I feel will be more appealing. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, ladies, hit your girl up if you want me to talk about something. I'm excited. I feel like this is so relaxing. I feel like I'm having a conversation with you in my living room. Why is this making me burp? This is literally not soda. I don't even drink soda, by the way. And this is making me burp. So forgive me. But I enjoyed this first experience. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were like, girl, I felt that. Girl, I agree with that. Amen. Listen, I believe you're so much worth. I cannot talk, and I'm not even going to edit this out because this is raw as hell. Y'all know, if y'all watching me on social media, I talk so fast. I need to slow the hell down. Ladies, I believe that you're so much, you're going to be so much more happier when you find the strength within yourself to be able to say no when you feel like you need to, and to be able to say yes when you know you want to for all the right reasons. Don't go against your spirit. There's a reason why God will give you feelings and emotions for a reason. Don't disregard that. You have an intuition for a reason. And if you feel like something's not right, listen to it. It's God speaking to you. And I believe that when the time comes, we are all going to find the right person who is meant for us. I know for me, I'm on a whole new journey. I've been single for about like 2.5 years. I'm a single mother. I know I'm not out here in these streets. I know I'm focused on myself, my health, my fitness, my mental health, my life, my goals, my businesses, trying to be the best mom that I can be. I want to set myself and my son up for success. But I also want to be the best version of myself so I can attract the best person for me. There's someone out there that I truly believe is going to wife me up, who's going to have me have babies, more babies with them, and I'm going to and it create this awesome, extremely dope life with this person. And that's because I'm going to manifest it. And that's because I'm going to be patient. And that's because I see the value within myself and my worth within myself that I literally will not accept anything other than. And I truly believe that you can all feel that as well. Tap into it. Do whatever you need to do to surround yourself by women. Women, I'm speaking to you. Surround yourself by women who speak life into you, who are going to make you feel worth that you maybe not even feel within yourself. I am here for you. If you want to reach out to me, DM me. I will be your friend. I will be the one who speaks life into you because we are all so worthy of so much more than some of us accept. So, mwah, I love you, love you, love you. And cheers to my first episode. Thanks for being here with me. It literally means the world. And to many, many, many more episodes with your girl Jazzy. Okay? And on that note, I will see y'all in the next video.